Some stars spend their entire lives chasing Hollywood glamour but still can't reach the level Phoebe Kates achieved in her early 20s. Throughout the 1980s, she captivated millions. Her radiant smile, natural beauty, and indescribable charm made her one of America's most famous youth icons. But what makes Phoebe Kates' story so special isn't how she entered Hollywood, but what happened before that. Born on July 16, 1963, in New York, Phoebe grew up in a family deeply connected to the entertainment industry. Her father was a renowned Broadway producer, and other relatives worked in television and film. From a young age, Phoebe was surrounded by art, theater, and creative storytelling. But, contrary to what many might think, acting wasn't her first dream. Phoebe's greatest passion as a child was ballet. From the age of 10, she received formal training at the Juilliard, one of the most prestigious art academies in the United States. For many years, she dedicated most of her time to training, hoping to one day become a professional dancer. It wasn't a fleeting hobby, but her true life goal. However, fate had other plans. A serious knee injury ended that dream when Phoebe was only 13 years old. In that moment, she lost the path she believed she would follow for life. When one door closed, another unexpectedly opened. Thanks to her striking beauty and natural charisma in front of the camera, Phoebe quickly entered the world of modeling. Within a few years, she appeared on the covers of numerous famous magazines and became a sought-after face by photographers. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. But inside, Phoebe felt empty. She once admitted that modeling didn't offer her a sense of growth or challenge. It was simply a job to make money. The real turning point came when she met a film agent at Studio 54. Her first acting opportunity quickly appeared, leading Phoebe to the film Paradise. Although the film was controversial and left her dissatisfied with her experience, it inadvertently opened doors to much bigger possibilities. Shortly after, Phoebe was cast in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. No one could have imagined that this teen film would change her life forever. With her role as Linda Barrett, Phoebe Kates not only became a rising star in Hollywood, but also an iconic figure for an entire generation. From a girl who had lost her dream of ballet, Phoebe has now stepped into the spotlight of the world's biggest stage, and her glorious journey has only just begun. Following the explosive success of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Phoebe Kates' life changed almost overnight. From a newcomer to the entertainment industry, she became a name gracing magazines, television shows, and movie posters across America. Millions of young viewers were captivated by her natural beauty, while studios saw in Phoebe a star capable of attracting box office audiences. For many, this was the moment to capitalize on her fame and climb the ladder of Hollywood. But for Phoebe, things weren't that simple. In the years that followed, she consistently appeared in new projects. From teen comedies to acclaimed television shows, Phoebe gradually proved that she was more than just a pretty face. She had the ability to bring authenticity and relatableness to her characters. However, the next major turning point came in 1984 when she starred in Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante and produced with the backing of Steven Spielberg. The film quickly became a global phenomenon, grossing hundreds of millions of dollars and becoming one of the classics of the 1980s. As Kate Berenger, Phoebe delivered more than audiences expected from a typical supporting actress. She created a character that was both endearing and humorous, yet also emotionally profound. In particular, the strange and dark story Kate tells about Christmas became one of the film's most memorable scenes. The success of Gremlins elevated Phoebe to a new level. She was no longer just a girl famous for an iconic scene. She was now a widely recognized, established actress. However, while Hollywood increasingly welcomed her with open arms, Phoebe began to turn her gaze elsewhere. The stage. Unlike film, where scenes could be reshot multiple times, The stage offered a more authentic and direct connection with the audience. In 1984, she appeared in her first play in New York and quickly realized that this was the environment that truly made her happy. In later interviews, Phoebe frankly admitted that the stage offered her more interesting female roles than film. This was quite an unusual thought for a young star who possessed everything Hollywood could offer. While audiences still saw Phoebe Kates at the height of her fame with a string of new films constantly being released, inwardly she began to contemplate other values in life. And then, not long after, a seemingly ordinary encounter occurred, opening the most important chapter in her life. Looking back on Phoebe Kates' life, many people often think that her decision to leave Hollywood began after she had children. But in reality, the first signs appeared many years before that. Despite being one of the most famous actresses of the 1980s, Phoebe never seemed captivated by the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. While many young stars strived to appear in every magazine and attend every event, she dedicated most of her time to family, friends, and theater. Therefore, when love appeared, it quickly became her top priority. It all began in 1983 when Phoebe auditioned for the film The Big Chill. She didn't get the role, but she met the man who would change her life forever, Kevin Kline. At that time, Kevin was already a highly regarded actor with a solid stage presence and a lifestyle completely different from typical Hollywood stars. Despite their significant age difference, they found much in common. They both loved art, valued privacy, and weren't overly concerned with fame. After several years of getting to know each other, they officially married in 1989 in a private ceremony in New York. Unlike many famous couples who choose Los Angeles as the center of their lives, Phoebe and Kevin decided to build their home in Manhattan. It wasn't just a choice of residence, but a choice of lifestyle. They wanted to escape the pressures of Hollywood and have ordinary days like any other family. When their son Owen was born in 1991 and their daughter Greta 3 years later, Phoebe's priorities began to shift. Her career continued, but family gradually became the most important thing. The couple made a special agreement. They would never work together at the same time, ensuring one of them would always be home to care for the children. In theory, this meant they would take turns pursuing their careers. But when it was her turn to return to work, Phoebe made a decision that surprised many. She chose to stay home. Not because of a lack of opportunities, nor because Hollywood had turned its back on her. On the contrary, she continued to receive attractive offers and appeared in several films such as Drop Dead Fred and Princess Caribou. However, the gaps between projects grew longer. Each time she took on a new role, she realized she wanted to spend more time with her family. In 2001, Phoebe appeared in The Anniversary Party, a film directed by her close friend Jennifer Jason Leigh. No one knew at the time that this would be the last time audiences would see her on the big screen. When the film ended, Phoebe Kates quietly left Hollywood. No farewell press conference, no shocking announcements, no scandals. Simply a woman who found something she cherished more than the spotlight. And that decision would open the final, yet happiest, chapter of her life. For many Hollywood stars, leaving the spotlight is often the beginning of oblivion. But for Phoebe Kates, it was the beginning of a life she truly desired. After nearly disappearing from film in the early 2000s, she didn't dwell on past roles or try to return to the spotlight. Instead, she began building a completely different dream, one unrelated to red carpets, cameras, or movie premieres. In 2005, Phoebe opened a store called Blue Tree on Madison Avenue in New York. To many, it might seem like just a small business venture for a former celebrity, but the reality is quite different. Blue Tree reflects Phoebe's personality. She personally selects the products, arranges the space, and is involved in every aspect of the store. It sells everything from clothing, jewelry, books, and crafts to unique antiques. Phoebe once described her store as a place where customers can find surprises in every corner. It's not a brand built on celebrity fame, but the result of genuine passion.
Meanwhile, her family life also developed in the way she always wanted.
Kevin Kline continued his successful career with a series of major roles, but family remained the top priority for both of them. Their son, Owen Kline, pursued a career in film and became a director. Their daughter, Greta Kline, built her own name in music under the stage name Frankie Cosmos. Instead of living in the shadow of their famous parents, both found their own paths, something Phoebe always encouraged.
Over the years, Phoebe and Kevin's marriage has become a rare occurrence in Hollywood. In an industry known for quick breakups, they have remained together for over 3 decades. No scandals, no media battles, just a peaceful life built on respect and understanding. Kevin himself has admitted that his wife is the one who keeps him true to himself. Interestingly, even though she has been away from the screen for over 20 years, Phoebe Kates has never truly been forgotten. Every Christmas, audiences still watch Gremlins. And whenever classic teen movies are mentioned, Fast Times at Ridgemont High always comes to mind. New generations continue to discover her work, while those who grew up in the 80s still remember Phoebe as an irreplaceable icon. And perhaps that's what makes Phoebe Kates' story so special. She didn't leave Hollywood because of failure. She didn't disappear because of a lack of opportunities. She simply chose a different definition of success. While many spend their lives chasing fame, Phoebe had the courage to step away from it after finding what made her happier. Her family, her private life, the work she loved, and the peace that money or fame couldn't buy. Perhaps that's why, looking back on Phoebe Kates' life, the most accurate question isn't what happened to her. The truth is, she left her mark on Hollywood, then proactively wrote the most beautiful part of her life in her own chosen way.